DXY dumping horribly. It's a good sign. But so look, we talked about this idea and I was not happy. I said I would love to see this come up and then roll over. And look, it never broke out. It stayed low on the 1 hour and just, and we just got completely sold off. And the dollar continues to tumble. A beautiful sign. You know, it's so sad because we were waiting on this and waiting on this. And they were so inversely correlated. And the second this dump, we knew Bitcoin was going to pump so hard. But then we got this strange FTX. You know, we found out they had like fake Bitcoin and all this other nonsense. And they were wrapping Bitcoin that was like not worth anything anymore on the Solana network. They had all this wrapped Bitcoin. And then people oh man, it was just a mess. But luckily, look, this broke to the downside. And that's kind of, that's going to be your measured move when you have a falling wedge. You take the length of this area in a big diagonal sense and pretty much where you ended up falling to the downside. This is beautiful. So I'm going to rework this pattern. I'm going to see what's going on, but I am very excited. I mean, we may not be getting the correlated perfect pump we wanted. Like I believe Bitcoin should have pumped even harder today off this dump. But this is, it's not pumping huge, right? We don't have the dollar, and I did call the top of the dollar. So I may not have called the bottom of Bitcoin perfectly, but I called the top of the dollar. And the reason why I sold Bitcoin, I was like, I don't see how the dollar could be any more valuable. What's weird is Bitcoin dumped a little bit with the dollar, which didn't make sense to me. Really didn't. But eventually I see this like I see it straightening back out, and then Bitcoin starting to make its gains against the dollar. But you can see we just low, and then we fell out of this to the downside. That's also your measured move, right? If you take the length here. That's how you're going to figure out where you're going to drop from a wedge. And look, that's exactly where we went. This is insane how accurately and spot on your technical analysis is. Like, it just continues to play out. So now we have this inverted head and shoulder that did break out, but we got resistance at a previous area, and this is your support and resistance. Previous support becomes new resistance. And if you understand this, that's why my line was there. That's why my lines are already pre-drawn. Look, we bounced here off a line that I already had drawn because I knew this was a resistance, a support area. It's all there for you. You just got to pay attention. Okay. And if you put in the work, you're going to understand exactly where price action is likely going to go. And you're going to be like a meteorologist that seems to be spot on every single time. Okay. So now, like, what we're looking at here is an even more bearish pattern. Like, we could get this shoulder. This could be getting ahead. We could trunce back up, and like this could just continue to dump. So beautiful thing for altcoins and Bitcoin and whatever we want to trade. We definitely want to see this continue to trend lower. And now we got something like this. And now we have an area for a possible double bottom. And we'll go from there. All right. And so that's what we're looking at for a bounce on the dollar index. Let's take a look at ES1, the S&P futures. All right. We talked about their likelihood of breaking to the upside. I went over this, right? Let me get rid of that yellow line I did not need to make. We talked about it breaking to the upside out of this wedge. What happened? It did. It did exactly that. Then we even made this little wedge, and we hit the measured move there. All right? Why is the measured move so big here? Because when I brought it out, that's just the length of the pole. And then I kind of gave it its trajectory. But so can we break out parabolically out of this rising wedge? That would be the case. Back above 4,000. I call this reversal for the S&P. For anyone watching this, and anyone that's invested in any market throughout the world, I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as financial advice. But I am calling a reversal in world markets. I am calling a dump in the dollar. I am calling a bigger move than most people see. If 3,700 can hold, then we can get to 4,000. We get to 4,000. This wedge is breaking out. We're getting above this resistance point, and we can see some serious moves back in the world markets. And ever since then, the S&P, since October 22nd, which you can find right around there, right there, that was basically our last bottom, and we have mooned since then on the S&P. The exact bottom of the day that I called it. Couldn't almost get it any cheaper on the 22nd right here. ES1, it's overbought on the 4-hour time frame, and it's at the top of the channel. It's likely to head back down to the bottom of the channel, even if we pump. We're cooling off here. So we could get pinned and anything could happen, but we're cooling off a little bit. Take a look at our 22 and our daily. They're both a little pinned too. So we've had a nice pump, but look at the last few days. We've had a beautiful pump. It's going to be a little bit of a pullback. If this falling wedge pulls back, it's going to break all the way back down here for a double bottom. That could happen, and we could lose all that momentum we made. I'd like to see us get above here and bounce. So this is going to be a kind of a big area for the next 2 days for the S&P. Can we get back above the zone is the question. How we do that, we're going to watch it closely, but the daily is going to have to kind of make a bit of a surge here, even though it's a little high on the stochastics. We're going to have to hit this measured move, personally, of the pole all the way here to 4291.